What do you picture when you hear the words romance movie? Some people's minds tend to go to rom-coms, or chick flicks, or extravagant epics, old black and white classics, people with English accents, stuff like that. And a formula. A movie where two people meet. Well, it could be anywhere, the setting doesn't matter, nor does the time period. This could be in space as well as underwater. Hell, they don't even need to be human. Anyway, they have a meet cute. And it's instant chemistry. They face obstacles, many obstacles, bad things happen. Their love is tested. They fail a few times and are maybe pulled apart. Maybe they even decide to never see each other again, at least for a while. But ultimately, they overcome all odds and adversity. And as a grand prize for their tenacity, they finally get to be with each other, lips lock, and happily ever after until the credits roll. Sounds familiar? A lot of romance movies are designed this way, and examples can be found in all other types of media, proving the formula is pretty damn well effective. In a romance movie, the ultimate goal is for two characters, usually the main characters, to end up together. So what's the point of the story when we know that both characters will never be with each other? Is it just an examination of a failed relationship? Is it just to have an unresolved ending paralleling reality? Just to feel bad and think that romance just isn't for everyone? Sorry, go home and feel bad about it? You'll be alone forever since all romance ends in tragedy anyways? Not quite. While most romance movies, or even non-romance, tend to show two characters ending up together as the main cathartic moment to look forward to before the movie ends. The doomed relationship, on the other hand, represents a different type of goal that the characters are trying to attain. A goal they didn't even know they were headed for. Perhaps not the goal they would have wanted, but the one they needed. A lesson in which the trials of romance provide the necessary conflict for an important internal discovery. Their own personal growth. Now, when we're talking about a doomed romance, we're making a distinction between tragic romance, where two people love each other but don't end up together because of external forces a la Romeo and Juliet, family strife, or the Titanic, an iceberg. Instead, these are internal decisions by the characters that ultimately doom their relationship. The kind of relationship we can find in the following movie, 500 Days of Summer. Exterior park day. For a few seconds we watch a man, 20s, and a woman, 20s, on a park bench. Their names are Tom and Summer. Neither one says a word. Close on her hand, covering his. Notice the wedding ring. No words are spoken. A distinguished voice begins to speak to us. Narrator. This is the story of Boy Meets Girl. It's hard to see from the first scene, but 500 Days of Summer is an examination of a failed romance. We start at the end following a non-linear narrative periodically showing different parts of Tom and Summer's relationship, moving back and forth through time, contrasting the good moments with the bad ones, inserting montages and interviews where the characters talk directly to the camera, breaking the fourth wall. Even the opening scene prepares us for the tone of the movie. It's the first 3 pages of the script. The movie makes sure to tell us up front, this is not a love story. So what's the story about? We follow Tom, a young 20-something living in LA, working at a greeting card company. He's bored out of his mind at an office meeting until he sees his boss's new assistant, Summer, and he falls in love. He loves everything about her and discovers she even likes the same bands he does. He takes this shared interest as one of the many strong signs of her, perhaps / definitely, being the one. The main character has a core belief that the narrator frames right from the start. He used to believe he would never truly be happy until he had met the one. He actively pursues her and finally gets the chance to talk to her outside of an office setting. In this scene, we get to see, to Tom's dismay, what Summer's view of love is.
Wait. What happens if you fall in love? What?
Well, you don't believe that, do you?
It's love, it's not Santa Claus.
Here we have Tom and Summer presenting their mismatched points of view. Tom is a romantic. He believes in love, he believes in fate, destiny, and the notion of the one. Summer, on the other hand, is the embodied rebuttal of his rosy take on love. She even starts challenging his ideals.
Well, what does that word even mean? I've been in relationships and I don't think I've ever seen it.
Well, maybe that's
And most marriages end in divorce these days. Like my parents.
Okay, mine too.
For Summer, relationships all share the same fleeting qualities. None of them ever last. Feelings change, emotions get hurt, and things get messy. For her, relationships have, up until now, mainly been flings, as her name denotes. So why go through all of that trouble or heartache when you can enjoy being single and work on yourself as an individual?
There's no such thing as love, it's fantasy.
Well, I think you're wrong.
Okay, well, what is it that I'm missing then?
I think you know when you feel it.
I guess we can just agree to disagree.
Clearly, Tom and Summer are two very distinct people. They view the world differently and consequently feel differently about it. But even after challenging one of his core beliefs, they do start a casual relationship together. In doing so, she starts testing the other aspects of his life, like his taste in music or his offhanded judgmental observations. All the while letting her general outgoing disposition naturally push his boundaries and ultimately challenging the way he views himself.
So, Tom, what is it that you do?
I write greeting cards.
But Tom could be a really great architect if he wanted to be.
That's unusual. I mean, what made you go from one to the other?
I guess I just figured, why make something disposable, like a building, when you can make something that lasts forever, like a greeting card?
Not much is known about what happened to dampen Tom's dream of becoming an architect. Apart from the first conversation he had with Summer, we learned that he studied architecture, but he couldn't get a job, so he's been working at the car company for about 3 to 4 years. He'd much rather be doing something else, but he stayed because it paid the bills. The only reason we get to learn this is because of the exterior forces around Tom that question his actions.
You always wanted to write greeting cards?
No, I don't even want to do it now.
Well, you should do something else then.
Yeah, I studied to be an architect, actually.
You did? That's cool. What happened there?
Didn't work out.
This seems like an unresolved issue that Tom is reluctant to address. He'd much rather find some level of escapism in his relationship with Summer than to deal with it head on. Although Summer doesn't really let him off the hook and pushes him to learn more. He never really says it, but he does miss architecture, and he's obviously not ready to let go of it. He still keeps one of his drawings framed at his desk, like an encased dream, on hold and only to be looked at from time to time as a nostalgic picture. As Summer and Tom start dating, he shows her all the different designs he loves around the city, and is eager to share it with her, even his favorite spot in the city. Summer notices he becomes a different person when he speaks of the buildings. Unlike the man she sees at work, bored at his desk and unfulfilled. The inner spark intrigues her, but she knows he struggles to show it, or might be embarrassed to say it out loud. She invites him to verbalize and exteriorize what he would do to change things as an architect.
There's a lot of beautiful stuff here, too, though. If it were me, then,
If it were you, what?
I don't know, like I'd make them notice.
How would you make them notice?
I don't know, I mean, there's a lot of different stuff you could do.
Show me.
This is a realization he would have not have had without Summer's quirky, intrusive help. Even once they broke up, she was still interested in knowing if he managed to leave his job and follow his calling.
How are you?
Good.
Good. I wrote to you. I never heard back, but...
Yeah, sorry about that. I just, it got kind of crazy. The holidays came up, so work was...
You still working for Vance?
Yeah.
She helped Tom rediscover himself. This was a needed change for what was to come later. He was left broken after Summer's indirect rejection at the dinner party. His world collapsed onto itself, and he was left alone, standing in the wreckage. As everything was stripped away, he focused on the things that remained a constant in his life. His passion. Little by little, he managed to rebuild himself and move forward while focusing on the pursuit of his once sidetracked career, his true love. This rebuilding helps him acquire a new perspective, a different outlook on life.
It's these cards. And the movies and the pop songs, they're to blame for all the lies. And the heartache. Everything. And we're responsible. I'm responsible. People should be able to say how they feel. How they really feel. Not, some words that some strangers put in their mouths. Words like love. That don't mean anything. I quit. There's enough bullshit in the world without my help.
The lasting aftertaste of heartbreak has left a newfound sense of clarity inside of Tom, with a hint of cynicism. He's been doing things the wrong way. He realizes that he hasn't had the best perception of love or relationships. He would oftentimes misinterpret the smallest things to the point of absurdity.
How's your weekend?
It was good.
Can you believe that shit?
I'm sorry, what shit? I think I missed something.
She said it was good, emphasis on the good. She basically said she spent the weekend having sex with some guy she met at the gym. Skank, whatever. I'm over it.
What the hell is wrong with you?
If he could misinterpret the small things going wrong, then he could equally misinterpret things going his way. The characters around him also offered a sobering view of his relationship with Summer.
So what are you exactly?
I don't know.
Are you her boyfriend?
It's not that simple.
Sure it is.
What, like, are we going steady? Come on, guys, you know, we're adults. We know how we feel. We don't need to put labels on it. I mean, boyfriend, girlfriend, all that stuff it's really juvenile.
Just because some cute girl likes the same bizarro crap you do, that doesn't make her your soulmate, Tom.
What do you mean?
What really struck a chord with him is his sister, asking him to look back at his relationship under a different lens.
Look, I know you think that she was the one, but I don't. No, I think you're just remembering the good stuff. Next time you look back, I really think you should look again.
As the montage strays away from the happy vignettes in the relationship, he starts focusing on the warning signs, the red flags, the things he didn't catch at first glance, or didn't want to. The things that show that it was never really perfect. He only chose to see it that way. Their relationship is like their trips to IKEA. They walk around the kitchen, the bedrooms, the camera framing them like a couple sharing an intimate moment. But the kitchen is not a kitchen. The bedroom is not a bedroom. It's all an aesthetically pleasing mock-up of an ideal he wants. A relationship. But that at its core doesn't work. The real moment of clarity that shatters his core belief happens once he's invited to Summer's dinner party. This scene is a simple yet effective juxtaposition of Tom's expectation versus his reality. On your left, the rekindling of a relationship, love triumphing overall, Tom's ideal validated. And on your right, a friend invited to a dinner party, not unlike anyone else there, leaving without being followed. The encapsulation of how sometimes we can create a beautiful false expectation that reality fails to live up to. The peculiar thing about this movie is that it offers closure that we might not be so lucky to get in real life. The final talk. The place where we can ask why. The place where we can question the person we felt emotionally wronged us. The movie offers an important piece of growth in this last part. Tom is now a different man. He has been tested, he has rebuilt himself, and he has a new point of view on things, but now he meets Summer, for the last time, as a final test of growth. Like an awkward but amicable boss battle before moving on to the next phase of his life. This time, it's on his terms. We end where we began. This was the girl he felt he was in love with. And now he looks for answers.
You never wanted to be anybody's girlfriend, and now you're somebody's wife.
It surprised me too.
I don't think I'll ever understand that. I mean, it doesn't make sense.
It just happened.
Right, but that's what I don't understand. What just happened?
I just woke up one day and I knew.
Knew what?
What I was never sure of with you.
This story isn't about the one, but the one you learn from. The one that teaches you something important about yourself, whether you like it or not, what things you need to leave behind or improve on, and what things are actually important to you to keep moving forward. What to look for the next time, because there will be a next time. The one that offers growth from a painful learning experience in the process of adulthood.
You know what sucks? Realizing that everything you believe in is complete and utter bullshit sucks.
What do you mean?
Destiny and soulmates. True love and all that childhood fairy tale nonsense. You were right. I should have listened to you.
No.
Yeah, what are you smiling at? What? What are you looking at me like that for?
But growth, in this case, is a two-way street.
It was meant to be. And I just kept thinking, Tom was right.
No.
Yeah, I did. I did. It just wasn't me that you were right about.
He was looking for the one, but instead he found someone.